Welcome back to Love, Life, and Legacy, the podcast dedicated to helping you navigate these hypersexualized times of ours. And I am recording this from Brazil, the airport here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We just had a staff retreat here. Unbelievable. I mean, not the country, I don't know, because I didn't see it. We were holed up in a little Airbnb for the weekend doing a staff retreat with the Latin America team. Shout out to Fernando, Melissa, Stephanie, and Samara, and their husbands. And not Fernando, by the way. And so, yeah, I'm just on my way back. But this episode, we're going to pull another one from the vault here from the 24-hour podcast. We had a great session that we got a lot of great feedback actually from this one. It's about young men talking about what they feel like it looks like to be a king in this world, right? And it's very juicy, enticing talk. I think it pumped up a lot of guys, you know? In this world, there's not so many people encouraging you to kind of reach into your soul and to bring out a little bit more of yourself. It's very easy to settle. It's very easy to be mediocre, and that's what porn is it's a celebration of misery, and it leads to spiritual and emotional mediocrity. And so this is a group of young people who are dedicated to preserving their sexual integrity and thriving in this world. So if you like, I don't know, kicking butt, if you like living large, then listen to this episode. It's a great one, whether you're a man or a woman. P.S. If you're a woman and you want to listen to this, it's a good sneak peek into the psychological underpinnings of this generation of young men. So enjoy wherever you are, and I'm about to get onto a plane to wherever I'm going. Have a great one.
Kings in training, becoming men of God. David,
Yeah.
what is a man?
Wait, what? What is a man? Good question.
In these confusing times that we live in right now,
Oh my day.
what is a man is an actual question. And it's, crazy, sad, but we're here to help. So we have a lineup of some really interesting people, all young men who I think exemplify to the best standard living a public life.
Yeah.
That's living up to a high standard of what it means to be a man in our movement, a young man, right? And we'd like to invite them one by one. I'm not sure who's gonna come up first, but we have with us, drum roll, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
My own brother here,
What's
Eddie
up?
Cooper,
Hello.
Alex Almeida, and Jonas Chishon. So we actually covering quite a few time zones here.
Yes. Yeah, international, man.
For Jonas, it's morning. For the rest of us, it's evening, but we have brothers from the UK, brothers in arms here, Eddie and Alex. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us. Pleasure to be here, boys.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I've been trying to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been trying to improve my public speaking skills and articulation. So when I got the opportunity to do this, I jumped at it because I wanted to sort of get uncomfortable and do this. So yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
This is a great place, right? Doing it live as well.
No pressure at all.
Jonas, all the way from the other side of the Atlantic. How are you, man?
Oh yeah, definitely. Good to see you guys. I'm currently in a very special place, very special house. I'm currently staying with the Wolfenbergers. It's really special to all of the brothers. I was just thinking just before that, like when I saw the names of you guys, I thought like, oh man, every single time I think about you guys or when I see you, I feel inspired. So good to be here.
Right, and then we have my own brother Robert here. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be here. Actually, I just came back from a seminar. I'm doing a harp seminar now, and I came here to talk to you guys. So yeah, maybe they're watching us. I don't know actually, but hopefully, hopefully we can have a good time here and really dive into masculinity, dive into what does it mean to be a man of God, and yeah, I'm truly excited for this opportunity.
Right. I just want to give a short shout out here to Jonas. He just turned 23 years old. Or 24,
24.
sorry.
Hey.
24. I feel
Oh,
old, man.
you're the same age as me.
Yeah, crazy, right? I haven't feel so old in my life. So, well, we are aging, but we are old but gold, right?
yeah. Yeah, happy birthday, my man. I'd give you a huge hug if I could, but
Virtual one.
yeah. And Alex,
Yes, sir.
How you doing,
Nice
man? Hello.
Nice to see you guys. Yeah. Good to connect. And Dranik, I haven't seen you in a long time. I think it was a few
Very
years
long
ago.
time.
You were on my team on a long time ago. David, I see you more so. We're in the same country, but yeah, lovely to be here. Look forward to exploring these different topics, and it should be a good time, fellas. So honored to be a guest.
right. So there's a lot of us here, and there's like 4 of you guys. We have some questions. We're gonna try rolling through them. Yeah, I think we're all mature here. We don't need to point fingers. Now you.
You're men,
So,
right?
you know,
Mature
if-
men.
Yeah, if you feel like going, if you feel like you have something to say, just go for it. And we're gonna start off from a question: how has growing up in the movement shaped your understanding of masculinity and what it means to be a man of God? We're gonna go there. We're gonna go deep immediately. So, yeah, if anyone wants to take it away, floor is yours.
Straight in. I think I can start. I think growing up in the movement, having a guy like True Father as kind of like the role model, kind of what it means to be a man, I think that's just a huge positive influence overall, right? To have a guy like that who is, for me, that's what it means to be a man, right? To be a man who's hardworking, who's disciplined, who's committed, who wants to do good in the world, but also a man who is like kind, humble, generous, unconditional love, right? It's the perfect balance of two things. And so I think at times it can be kind of like you have a high thing to work towards, right? You want to be like True Father, but I think he challenges us to try and be like him, right? In multiple times throughout, when you're reading his word, he says, try and be like me, try and be almost better than me. And so I think it's the perfect role model. And so to grow up with a guy like that to look up to, I think it's just perfect. I think it's a privilege, it's an honor. And I think it's kind of helped me to stay rooted as far as like, I can be a man who is strong, who is capable, and who is also honors God. And I can do both, right? Because I think in the modern secular world, it's kind of a misconception that you have to choose one or the other. And so I think it's the perfect balance of both. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
Awesome.
Yeah, really good point. I can relate in many ways to you, Alex. Having True Father as an example, that's really high standard. And when you have people who are also inspiring to be like him, and you create a community based on really good virtues and basically some values you want to resemble, then it's a powerhouse. We can really, I guess all of us, we can relate to the fact that we are surrounded by really good people from the very beginning of our lives, really good parents, really good fathers, and also really good brothers around us. So eventually, we had a really good start, and I think this is very special.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely find myself agreeing with them. Definitely, True Father was, even though we didn't really, I don't know how many of us met him actually, how many of us saw him in person, of how he actually was, but through the stories of other people, just how he interacted with people, how dedicated he was. If we really think about it, he started from absolutely nothing, and then he built a massive movement that stands still till today, and that was really a result of hard work and dedication and focused mind. So I think definitely for us, it's a big inspiration.
Yes. I would say for me, the idea of being a man of God is someone that is constantly trying to be the best version of themselves and constantly taking action to get on that path of being their best selves. So yeah, I would say they're constantly trying to strive to take action and improve and get better. And so, yeah, they're just always growing, and they have that mindset of yeah, just trying to be better constantly throughout their life and in every interaction and experience. And so, yeah, that's what I would say, to be fair. But
Yeah. So yeah, that's some great stuff. And so talking about True Father as a role model of masculinity, Robert mentioned something very interesting here. Has anyone actually of us met True Father? I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe some of us have seen him, but we're so young. We're all
Seen,
of us
right?
we're
Yeah.
so young that yeah. So what? I have two questions here. So firstly, how do you connect to True Father, like as a role model, as an image? He's obviously not around. What are your sources of connection? And then second is, if you could point to some specific things. So what was it that he did, or his way of life, his practices? You know, he did a bunch of stuff. The movement is one thing. Actually, there's a bunch of other stuff that he did that stuck out to you, that inspires you, that you try to learn more about maybe, and that leads is a guiding light for you in your life. Yeah,
It's a good question. Go.
That's a good question. Maybe
I think-
maybe I have
Go ahead,
Well,
Robert.
in terms of relating to True Father, I think mostly I relate with him through just experiences in my life. When I experienced something that he wrote about, or experienced something that I read through in his autobiography and so on, just trying to live like him, you can kind of understand in what kind of position he was and how he felt in those positions. And I mean, the standard that True Father gives to us is very high, and the bar that he raised is very high, and to try to live up to that is really, it's not easy. And yeah, I think just striving for that and going for that, already you can kind of relate to him, because you understand what kind of struggles he's going through and what kind of things he have to overcome to become a man that he became.
okay.
Yeah,
And one,
I think it's a good point.
one-
I think, yeah, I can kind of piggyback on that. I think he gave an example, like through all the stories we hear in the autobiography of him kind of doing these extreme things, being a bit rebellious, right? Doing all these things that are super extreme. I think it showed me that you can be intense, you can be extreme, but it can be for good, right? Like as young guys, we have so much energy, so much kind of pent up energy and intensity, and we want to do things all the time. And most in the secular world, that energy is put towards bad things, towards, you know, whether it's drugs or porn or you know, partying, whatever the case is. But True Father showed with the stories that you can use that energy, that intensity, to do good, right? To be intense in good things, right? Whether it's him, like the melon patch story when he fed the whole village with the melons, like it was an intense, a crazy thing to do, but it was a good thing, right? So he used that energy to do a good thing, and so it showed me that like I can use this masculine energy that I have to do good things. It doesn't have to be bad things, and I think that was almost kind of like an inspiration for me, kind of growing up in the church. So that's kind of my perspective.
yeah, that was a crazy story, actually, when you think about it.
Here you go,
Right.
children. Here are the melons from my uncle, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like he did some crazy stuff, but all of it was his like intensity as a young man, but it was for good, right? And so he used that energy instead of going and you know, doing bad things, doing things that are going to kind of lower you spiritually. He used it for good. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic example.
Yeah, I guess most of us, we haven't met True Father in our lifetime. Maybe we saw True Father maybe in Berlin. I'm not sure if you guys remember 2010. So it's been a long time, but I don't really remember anything from that meeting except really nice cake and victory celebration. Although one thing I really want to like talk about is choosing your heroes wisely. So we hear stories, we hear some amazing examples from True Father's life, and we can be really inspired by that. I think this is one really important thing, is to be able to have role models and be able to take the best things from their lives and apply in ours, basically. So instead of having, you know, a Batman or Captain America or some cartoon character, you can have actually True Father. You can have Robert Karagesian, you can have Alex Almeida, and some other guys who are extremely amazing, or some uncle figures, or your father or uncle or whatever. It could be very special to just search for really good role models and eventually take the best out of them. Yeah, me personally, mainly reading autobiography, listening to testimonies, and just seeing this crazy guy, which True Father was. It's just very special, actually, for my life, and I bet for your as well.
Yeah. I think that's so true. I mean, there's so many epic stories and all these things we hear that True Father has done. And to see that so many people, hundreds of thousands of people, believe in him and believe in his ideas and like living for the sake of others, and the way he served other people is something that's so inspiring. And I think that's what I would like to live my life like, right? Just trying to have a huge impact where so many people believe in what I say and believe in what I do and how I live my life. And so that's something I want to kind of take from True Father, right? Just trying to be so positive and have a huge impact for the better with other people. So yeah.
Yeah, I just also want to add that when I was about 5 or 6, I had like the privilege to meet True Father in London. Not face to face, but like he came to London for like a big talk, and it's like the only time I got to see him in person, right? So quite a special moment. It was one of the last years he was alive, and I just remember like truly what really stood out to me was his heart, right? His immense power from his heart. And I think, so I remember I was listening to the translation, right? But being a 5-year-old, you don't really even know what the English translator is saying. So I just took my headphones out, like get rid of those, and I just wanted to hear like his Korean voice. And I'm sorry, I was expecting like some really rough voice, like I am True Father kind of thing. But instead, I heard this like proper grandfatherly voice, like someone who truly cared about the people he was talking to, right? And I would say one thing that really stands out to me about True Father was, yes, he was incredibly strong and he had this amazing masculine kind of like drive, he was like the man, but also he had the deepest, most profound heart, and he knew how to be in control of his emotions. And I feel like it's genuinely an issue with men these days, is that you're seen as weak if you're an emotional person. Like, oh, aren't you like some really camp guy? Who are you questioning your gender maybe if you're so emotional all the time? What is this? I think I think that True Father really understood the emotional depths of Heavenly Parent and was able to channel that emotion. There are times where he would cry so much that the tears would seep through the floorboards of his house, right? So True Father knew that being masculine meant also you could be in control of your emotions and have this emotional depth that was far more profound than anything we'd seen before. And I think this is really a very important point for all young men growing up, that it's okay to be emotional. If you're connecting to God's heart, it doesn't make you less of a man. In fact, I would say it makes you even more of a man if you're able to feel. Because many men, they numb themselves. They cover their shame and their trauma with addictions or shadows, and they just go, oh, I'm a man, so no one needs to know about my problems. It's my problems. I can deal with it. I'm a man, kind of thing. But that's really simple, because we need connection. It's unbelievable how stupid humanity has been up until this point, neglecting the fact that we need connection. And the true men we see today, like True Father, the ones who truly have the most impact, are the ones who are in touch with their emotional side. You could argue who are in touch with their feminine side. They know how to be gentle towards the world. There's a great saying that a true man, is strong enough to be gentle. It's a great saying, and it's like this concept that you're so strong and so clear on who you are as a man that you're able to have the gentle touch that a woman might have, and is maybe seen as not normal for a man. But if you're in nature and if you're looking after your children, you can't be like, "Hi, child," kind of thing. You have to be gentle, right? So yeah, I guess I just want to plant this idea in your heads. Like, how do you feel? How inspired do you feel by True Father's heart, his emotional heart?
Actually, a story came to my mind while you were saying this. The story of when your father was, I don't know, he was fishing or something like that, and he caught a fish, and that fish died, and then he cried for a very long time because it died. And yeah, I think the having the ability to feel empathy towards, others is a quality that just in general every human being should have, and that is something that can help us relate with people. um, Emotions, I definitely feel like as men we have a lot of energy, and definitely if we have emotions and we cannot control them, we will burst out and do, I mean, hideous things, and we can really go to very bad lengths of what we can do. But yeah, I feel like I can agree with you there that we really we should be able to control our emotions and not let them slip out. But definitely we should be in tune, because you know I think emotions are something that God has really blessed us with, because if you don't feel emotions, you're not feeling anything. You're just a robot that is, walking around and feeling the love of God, feeling the love of your wife, feeling the love. I mean, I don't have one, but hopefully in the future, feeling the
Not
love
yet.
of your feeling the love of your parents, of your brothers and sisters. That is, truly a blessing that we get. And yeah, and it makes life way more interesting. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's really interesting input here as well. We're getting a fuller picture here, but so we're talking a lot about your father, and now let's ask ourselves: so what was, if we had to categorize or kind of describe, so what was the stuff that True Father talked about the most? No surprise, True Father was talking the most about sexual integrity, about purity,
mm,
about, yeah, having a purity of heart, mind, soul, and body. So let's talk about this concept of sexual purity. So how do you navigate the challenges of maintaining sexual integrity in a world that often promotes the complete opposite?
Good question.
Maybe I will speak a little bit actually about this one point, also a little bit connecting to True Father again. So, like, basically, I really see it in a very simple way. You have to be really clear what you want to have and what kind of life you want to build. And True Father was extremely clear about his vision, about God's vision, especially for sexuality. And he knew very clearly what he wants to restore, what he wants to achieve, and all the other garbage he wants to put away from this world. So very big example for me is my brother actually, and my dad as well. Quite often it's difficult to relate to True Father because he has really high standards, but you can relate to some people who are quite close to you too. And I don't always speak and express so well, but I am quite a visual guy, and when I see this photo and this photo, I can only tell myself, oh, Jonas, this is something I want to have in the future as well. I want to have beautiful life, beautiful blessing, beautiful marriage. And that's why I need to be really clear about the destruction and about the clear things which I really want to have in my life. Yeah, this is my approach, being able to put your mission statement and put your goals very clearly makes the game a little bit easier. That's what I would say.
100%. Yeah, I can kind of go from there because that's exactly what I was going to say, Yonash. It makes it easier if you have a mission because in this world full of distractions, there's so much stuff going on. There's so many distractions trying to veer you away in terms of sexual integrity. If you're trying to constantly like stay away from it, it's so tough. You have to have something bigger that you're working towards, right? And so that's the best kind of strategy, right? I feel like all the boys here can kind of agree, right? If you have a mission, if you have a purpose, if you have something you're working towards, then you're not constantly thinking about what you're not doing. You're thinking about the mission, the goal. And so, like, for me personally, whenever I'm at my most kind of as far as sexual integrity, I'm on it. My thoughts are pure. Everything is pure. My purity is, where it should be. It's when I'm focused on my mission, focused on getting better and improving. And so that's kind of my mindset towards it. I feel like I don't know if Eddie, you want to speak on this, but you're a great example of this, right? Because we've spoken, me and Eddie have had conversations.
Yeah, for
Eddie
sure.
hasn't really struggled much with sexual kind of integrity because I know you're so focused on your mission. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I completely agree. I think if you schedule and like have a full day of tasks and things that you're going to complete and you need to do before the day ends, you're not going to be thinking about silly thoughts and these thoughts that bring you down that the devil is trying to get to you. And so, I mean, my goal is to become a professional footballer. And so my whole week in life is scheduled around my training and my going to the gym and physical stuff. And outside of that, so outside of my football schedule, I'm constantly doing other things to improve myself and be better. So like reading, prayer, meditation, those kind of things. And then also like fundraising as well, which is something maybe we can get into a bit as well. But yeah, if you just constantly focusing on what you want to become and who you want to be and have actionable steps to get to that person. And so aligning your actions with the highest version of yourself, I think that is where you become the highest dominant form of yourself and you're not having these negative thoughts where you're falling off track and falling off this path that you want to be on. And so yeah, that's what I think. If you fill out your day and have a set schedule and tasks that you want to complete and you actually complete them. And so you have to build that sort of self-discipline and mental mastery to be able to control how you act. I think that's the way you control how you think and these thoughts and which lead to those negative actions. So yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we talk about here. We call it integrity. Just having integrity towards yourself, towards your goals, towards your vision, right? Yeah, Robert, would you like to add something? We have now a sports theme here going, so
Absolutely.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I think actually as me, myself, and Eddie, as I see, we're really into sports and even trying to become professionals at it. And that takes a lot of discipline, that takes a lot of hard work and willpower. And with sexual integrity, for a very long time, I tried to do it for my will and, just say no, say no, say no. But I think sometimes, porn and all those kind of things are not really the problem itself, but usually it shows something that is maybe lacking in you, and it's you're expressing it through porn or through masturbation. But what I actually found in my journey of sexual integrity is that sometimes we have holes in our hearts that we would really like to be filled. And for me, for example, that was my relationship with my dad. For a long time, I didn't really have a strong connection to my dad, and he, talking about men, he was a person that worked hard, but because he worked hard and he stayed long hours in his work, we didn't have a lot of time spent with him during our childhood. And when I understood that, I want to have a relationship with my dad, I feel that that's like a part of my heart that is still lacking and still wants to be developed. When I went to my father, and that was actually one of the scariest things and one of the things that took the most courage out of me, out of all the things I've do, that took the most courage out of me to sit my father down and start speaking to him honestly about what I wish to have with him, and that I want to be his son, not just in words his son, but also really feel like I am his son. And I feel like also when you fill those holes in your heart, and you recognize that you have some parts that are lacking, either that can be with your dad, with your mom, with your siblings, with God. When you fill those areas, you don't ever even in your free time, you don't really have the want to go watch porn or masturbate, because you feel already fulfilled in your heart. You don't really want to because why we watch porn, why people masturbate, because they want to feel some happiness inside of them. They want to feel something that is empty inside of them. And I feel like, instead of just doing it only through your will, we can also recognize that there maybe are some parts in our hearts that we can feel, and then we will not have the motivation to even think about or go to those kind of places. So that was really, from my life, that was my experience, that sometimes we also need to look within ourselves. Maybe there's something we want to be filled in our hearts. So
Mm.
All right, Jonas, got anything to say on this? I'm
Well,
sure you
that's,
do.
that's a big point overall, but thanks, Robert. Thanks, Eddie. You guys are really athletes. I see you guys.
Hey, just a quick interruption to tell you about the 40-day High Noon Challenge. If you're trying to find a way to start living a high noon life today with no shadows and create a radiant blessing, then this simple challenge is for you. We will send you daily lessons from our team that will keep you motivated on your journey. It's totally free, guys, and you'll get constant content directly to you. Just sign up today at highnoon.org/challenge. That is highnoon.org/challenge. All right, back to the show.
In a few years, you'll be on the top. I know that.
appreciate that, bro.
And you, Alex, bro, every time I see you, I want to run. I want to go to the gym. I want to be a better man. That's basically every single time I see you guys. Yeah, overall, I think this is pretty amazing that we have this brotherhood, we have this community of people who strive for something bigger. And in terms of sexual integrity and overall sexuality, it's such an important and really beautiful topic. Obviously, we see society trying to just push on you some different agendas, not always very nice ones, and that's why clarity is quite important. True Father had such a beautiful vision for the blessing and for creating radiant, beautiful couples. And when you see that, you start to realize how many things you have to understand to really embrace the idea. But in my case, yeah, I was quite young when I was exposed to PMO, and it was very confusing actually at first. But later on, I was exposed to some really good quality information as well, and good role models. And when you realize that actually to be a man, you need to understand women as well and be able to love them, respect them properly, it's a game changer as well. Probably you know that, but I have 4 sisters. 3 younger sisters, 1 older sister.
One of them is here and listening live.
The youngest one. But it shapes your heart and your mind very, very well. You really want to give them best. You want to be a good brother for them. And it's a really good motivation, because when you relate well with the other gender and you understand how to properly love them and respect them, that's really key to success. I remember actually David, your dad, said on the other workshop, 2016, I was 16-year-old kid at the time, but he said, don't be stupid, Adams. Don't play around with frogs and foxes while Lucifer is basically having a good time with Eve, right? We're really good guys who are taking ownership of the life we got, and the talents and the values we have, and really prepare well for the future. Be good kings for our queens. I think this is very important to have in mind. And then again, destruction, which is coming on the way, PMO, and the let's say tragic expressions of the sexual drive we have as a young man, is not serving us, is not loving us back. So being really clear about what we want to have. And again, I'm a photographer, so I always like to look on the pictures. This is us, Alex, the UK boys plus 1 Polish guy, having a basically really good group of people where you can strive for bigger goals and really learn how to go together well. It's very important. So that's my view on that.
Mm.
Right, and talking about talents, you just mentioned that word, talents. Developing ourselves. I want to ask you guys, in general, like relationships. So Robert touched upon like having a fulfilling relationship with his father, right? Jonas, you're talking about connection with people around you that live up to a similar standard as you, right? Who help you in your own life promote the lifestyle you want. Let's talk about accountability. This is another important concept here that we have. So, what role does accountability play in your journey towards becoming a man of God, and how do you support and hold each other accountable within your community? And I know the UK boys might have some really interesting things to say here for us, but I want to hear from everyone. Yeah, so
So
let's hear it.
I could go first. Yeah, I think accountability is massive because if you can't keep, because in the past most people haven't been keeping the promises they've been making them to themselves, and so they haven't got that self-trust where they believe in themselves and they know that their word is strong and it's good. And so I think we have to start off by having accountability partners and an environment where you keep the promises you make to them so that you have that evidence that you have done what you said you're going to do. And so you've kept those promises to other people, which I think is easier to do at first than keeping the promises you make to yourself. And so you can build that self-discipline so that you can hold yourself accountable in the end, which is, I think, the level we want to get to, holding our own selves accountable. And I think the way you do that is to start off by keeping yourself or getting others to hold you accountable. So getting into an environment where you can do that and feel free and dare to tell each other what you're going to do and keep each other to those promises.
Yeah, well, that's actually really good, right? Like accountability as a journey into building ultimately your own self accountability, starting with other people, because that can actually be easier, right? Wow.
Yeah, but also like it really shows rather clearly the massive need for connection in our lives, right? Like man was not meant to be alone. I can't remember who said that, but it's one of those classic sentences that are really true, right? Like men need other men in their lives, because if you're just alone by yourself, you only have your perspective, and often if times get rough, if times get hard, maybe your own willpower alone is not enough to actually get you to your goals. Sometimes you need a brother just to put their hand on your shoulder and say, I believe in you, you can do this, right? And that love you receive from your fellow brothers encourages you that there's more to life than just your own ambition, but it actually makes your ambitions even more supported. Like those brothers can support your ambition, and at the times where maybe you're questioning your own journey, they'll go, hold on, mate, like I thought you had this dream, what are you doing now? You have to pursue it. And they really challenge you to grow even more. So I wonder, like, what kind of scenarios have you guys been through where you had a dream, you had a vision, right? And then you needed an accountability partner to get you through that challenge.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, it's good to be accountable with yourself and being able to respect your own word and have the integrity. Although, being involved with facilitating and being involved with having many accountability partners, it's very special to express freely, be able to share openly, honestly about your struggles, and not always this pretty side. I'm not perfect by any means. I don't have even the standard I want to have as my vision, but I still want to be able to share openly about the things I'm working on and I'm trying to improve. But I want to listen a little bit more to Alex and Eddie, because you guys are part of a really special group as well, brothers in arms, and I know you guys stay accountable very well and you call each other out very, very often as well. So if you can share a little bit on that.
You take this, Alex.
Absolutely, I'll take it away. So yeah, I think accountability, brotherhood, companionship, whatever you want to call it, it's just it's crucial, right? Because nowadays like you only get up to no good when you're like when you're shame, and shame and guilt are two of kind of the strongest feelings. The only way to get rid of those is to shed light on it, right? Once you shed light on anything that you're kind of guilty or shameful of, immediately the shame goes away, because that's the solution. And so what we're doing is we've created, Jonas touched on it, Brothers in Arms. It's kind of our own kind of community, kind of brotherhood, where essentially it's a space for young guys to just connect on a level of, just being themselves, right? To have that freedom to, share, to connect, to have fun together, to do those things that they want to do. But it's like what we found running retreats for boys in high school. We've had boys in the movement, boys outside the movement coming to these retreats. The thing that everyone values the most is the ability to have guys just on the same page, same age, same journey, right? It's going on the journey with other people. And so, like, I always say this, right? The thing that makes going on this journey, whether it's maintaining your purity or, working towards success in relationships or in career or in sports, whatever the case may be, the thing that makes the journey worthwhile isn't just that you're going towards it, it's the people you're with on the journey, right? And David, you touched on this. As brothers, as young guys, we need a tribe, right? It's something we've had for thousands of years. We've always had tribe, we've always had community. And I feel like there's a temptation nowadays with social media as a young guy to kind of like go on your own path, kind of be a lone wolf, go on that solo mission. But truly, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a young guy, because it's number one, it's not going to be as fruitful. It's not going to be as enjoyable to go there with it by yourself, not with your brothers. And number two, you won't get as far because of the external accountability, right? There's a common saying: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards, right? And so the standards that you have are kind of not only by yourself, but kind of your peer group, people that you associate with, right? And so that's kind of a big focus of my life for the past kind of year, is making sure that we can have that accountability, whether it's group chats, whatever the case is for young guys, and it's part of what we do at Brothers in Arms as well. So appreciate it, Jonas.
That's my boy.
Good stuff.
I think what Alex said was kind of interesting when he said you rise to the level of your standards. I think also you rise to the level or fall to the level of your environment. And so, it's that saying, you are the sum total of the 5 guys you surround yourself with. And so, that's something we try to hold and have at BIA, at Brothers in Arms. We try to get these guys in an environment where there are people better than them. And we have these high standards where we're trying to keep each other accountable and be the best versions of ourselves. And so I think if you're in an environment like that, like for me, I'm the youngest out of all our sort of tight group of friends. And so these guys are much older and wiser, and I would say better than me in multiple areas. And so I rise to that standard because I'm constantly surrounded by guys that are better than me. And so that's what another thing we have at BI is we're in this environment where we're all trying to be better. And so I think you just rise to that level. And so you don't fall off path because they're constantly surrounded by better people and have that standard. So
it's like osmosis, right? You grow by osmosis, but the people you surround yourself with, right? It's just natural. If you're in that environment, you're going to grow, you're going to get better. And so that's kind of the goal. If we can surround ourselves, if we can create that culture in our families, in our communities, I think that's ultimately the goal, right? To have that in your home, in your church community, where everyone's trying to get better and holding each other accountable to getting better. I think that's crucial, man. So that's the dream. That's the vision.
Yeah, and I think this is something we can agree on with, I guess, Andrang, you too, like being able, and David, like being able to see High Noon guys as well and see our groups and seeing all of the brothers or sisters as well, I bet, but focusing on the brothers, having the guys who are coming to the group, they really focus on growth and they really focus on becoming better. And that's a very crucial part of your sexual integrity as well, be able to have a tribe of people who really want to change themselves and grow. That's something what made my life way better, being able to be part of the group, later on facilitate the group, and basically surround myself with the guys who really want to go forward. Don't take excuses, don't put it under the table, but really take ownership of their lives and their struggles as well, and based on that really form something amazing. By the way, there is Uncle Dave Wolfenberger, and he says, "You guys are amazing." Basically,
yes, Uncle Dave, love you so much.
Guys. Yeah, represent. But I was wondering if you, Andrang and Robert, do you stay accountable as brothers as well?
in your own family.
Right, that's interesting. Robert, want to talk about that?
Oh wow. Well, actually, no. I think we held ourselves accountable in a sense where I think I have my own high goals, and my brother, he has his own high goals, and just by seeing your brother getting successful at the things he's doing at, already kind of wants you to, push yourself too, because you don't want to be that guy who's, you have a brother that is really paving a way of how to become a successful man. And yeah, and also speaking about accountability, I also, I mean, for me, uh, that's a word that is very dear in my heart, because uh, I I basically made my faith and my goals known to everyone, and I am very public with what I believe in. I'm very public with what I want to achieve in life, and sometimes I think, man, why do I do this? Because that puts a lot of pressure to, now I have to perform. Now I have to show that I am what I say I am. But what I found is, when you share your goals, when you share your faith, when you take take upon yourself this accountability, it really helps you grow in that sphere that that you are in. And faith wise, and in athletics and sports, uh, when I set high standards for myself, and when I talk about them publicly, it really, I can't then just lay on my bed and not do anything, because I know if I'm not showing an example, then I'm a fraud. I'm My word means nothing, and that is something that is at least important for me to know within myself, that I'm a man of my word, and I do what I say I do. And also, by being public, and by taking this accountability, I also think I can maybe inspire others, and show a way for other people. So in a sense, even though you put this pressure on yourself, I feel like you can also do a lot of good with that, if looking from the perspective of helping other people, and not just looking within yourself.
Yeah.
Was Robert honest there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, really, our relationship works like that a lot nowadays. You see that bunk bed in the background, right? So that's our room now. Actually, I never before. I don't remember when was the last time I shared a room with my brothers. I was always kind of older, and I had my own room and whatever. But since our middle brother moved out, yeah, we took one room together, and Robert has had a really big impact on me, because we moved in, and he's like doing conditions every evening. Like, he's reading the DP, he's reading some Sundake, and and I'm just kind of in that present, in that room, thinking, oh man, I should do better with myself. And then we go training together. Actually, we do sports, like we do athletics together. I'm really supportive of his goals and visions. I don't have the same aspirations to be a world champion, but I do have aspirations to have a very fit and capable body. So, and to be healthy, right? So that's rubbing off on me a lot. Like, just going together, just being there in that environment together, that's rubbing off a lot, and it's giving me a lot. So yeah. Right. Let's now move on, and let's make it a bit more personal. So, can you share any personal experiences or challenges you faced in striving to keep high standards for yourself in all aspects of your life? So, you can choose any aspect of your life, but try and really share a story, or let people in on your lives where you think there's a valuable lesson to be learned. Silence.
I mean,
Robert,
I have one on the top of my head, because yeah, I mean, sports was actually a very, a thing that started very early from my life. And now I'm in track and field, but I actually started from basketball. And throughout my years, I don't want to go to make it too long of a story, but I'll try to go in short. And in my years of basketball, every year I would have some unfortunate thing happening to me. For example, my appendix needed to be cut out. Then he had bronchitis. I had to stay out of training for 2 months, 3 months. and so on. And then I had back injuries, then I had other injuries, and I always felt like something is keeping me back. Something is, not letting me go to the other level, because I saw that I was the one that is working the most. I saw that I was the one that is giving the most, and I kind of like I didn't understand why are my efforts, uh, show fruits. And later, when I was around 18 years old, I started dipping my toes into track and field, because first I just wanted to make my legs stronger, because I had very skinny legs. And as I started going there, I really fell in love with that sport, and I decided, okay, I'll switch. And after I switched, a couple weeks went by, and I injured my hamstring. Then month went by, I injured both of my hamstrings. And at that point, I remember I sat. It was in a competition. I sat there, and tears started flowing out of my eyes, because I felt like I'm giving everything I have. I'm doing everything I can, but for some reason I can't. It feels like I can't achieve anything, and I have these high goals, and it feels like I'm a bit hopeless. But then on the way back from that competition, I was sitting there, and I was thinking that no, at first I was trying to blame the world, trying to blame God, trying to blame I don't know who, that I'm this unlucky guy that is doing everything but has zero luck. But then I thought I'm blaming God, and I thinking that God is causing this pain for me. But then I thought, am I do I, let's speak in principle terms. Have I ever created a foundation for God to help me? What I mean by that is, do my actions in my daily life, speaking about sexual integrity and so on, all those things, do I live a way of life where Satan can come and say, man, I can't do anything to this guy. God, you can bless him with anything you want. And when I looked at my life, I saw that I have habits that are not in tune with what God, the standard that God has. And I decided that, instead of me blaming that, God is not blessing me, maybe it's me who is keeping God from blessing me. Maybe my actions that show that, I also kind of dip my toes into Satan's world a bit, that is preventing God from actually helping me. And when I switched that, I remember I had a prayer where I promised to God that, from now on, I will do everything, and I will try to keep my life as straight as I can. And all I ask for you is that I can go to the highest possible level, that I can lift you higher than myself, that I can lift your parents higher than myself. And after I did that, I just, I started winning and getting very good results. And in 2 years, I progressed in a sport really very, high amounts. And I don't give this, that this was something I did. I don't feel like this was something I did. I was maybe, yes, I worked hard, but there's a lot of people that work hard. But I think when I allowed God in my life, when I started living a life that, God can come in and Satan cannot accuse me, I feel like blessings started to come. And I think that's kind of how my story is going, and it's still progressing. And I really hope that one day I can, lift God higher than myself, lift your parent higher than myself, and really make it known to the world that they exist. And through my story, I can show that miracles can happen, but we have to put ourselves and really check ourselves. So accountability also comes there too. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too long. Maybe have others share. So that's my story.
Lovely stuff, man.
That's great.
Thank you, Robert. You're in top 50 fastest people in your category, in your country right now?
Yeah, 47th.
No
Yeah,
way.
this guy. That's crazy in the history of his country. Yeah, man. That's insane. Thank you for sharing, Robert.
Yeah, all praise to God.
True. Yeah, maybe I will share very quickly as well. I mean, every single time I'm surrounded by really high performing brothers, I get very humbled as well. I feel like and there is lots of brokenness in my life, and I'm still healing. And I'm on a good way, but I definitely recognize my limits as well. But one thing I really wanna share is, my journey towards understanding that I really wanna get blessed and be really in the zone of true parents and being able to create a beautiful, radiant couple was basically challenged many times. And one of the bigger challenges was after coming back from STF. Again, shout out to you, Andranik, my fellow STF European guy. I was really trying to search what I want to do in my life. And long story short, I started my filmmaking videography business. I started being a freelancer, and I was acting. I was doing pretty well. And also I was connected to quite many people from the social media, music industry as well. And when you see such a high contrast coming back from the program like STF and being surrounded by people who have quite different moral standards or no moral standards whatsoever, you really have a big fight in your head to decide what do you want to do in your life. Or if you don't decide it, you are just consumed by probably bigger influential group, which was at the time my work environment. And I was working for Kwame travel agencies as well. And I was in that really nice resort, Golden Sands, in Bulgaria, recording some promotional videos for one travel agency, but also doing some music video with one rapper. And I just got extremely shocked how some people live. I wasn't really experiencing that level of craziness in terms of sexuality. People usually go to that place for only two reasons: to party and to have as much sex as they can. And I had two goals actually, three goals when I went there. Don't take drugs, don't drink alcohol, and they don't have any sexual affairs. And all the people around me had three goals as well, but you can say what kind of goals they were. Anyways, at the time I was very connected to Hainan already, being part of the group. And there was one brother with whom I stayed in the daily basis, in the daily communication every single day, being able to express things I'm experiencing. And also he was encouraging me to really stay focused. And I decided to quit that job opportunities, being able to change my environment and really surround myself with good brothers, good role models, and really start shaping my view on sexuality in the good way. Over there, you see the core of the universe. Exposure to really good quality information is also a good point. Yes, sir. So, yeah, being very intentional about the goals. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing point, Jonas, and like having to change your environment, right, to really kind of become the man you want to be. And I think a good way to kind of wrap this up is to kind of mention how, when we work on our goals and we work on our discipline and our brotherhood together, our accountability, we can then become the kings that we truly are meant to be, the people that can make fantastic blessings and then create wonderful families. So yeah, I totally recommend for all those brothers out there in the world listening to this, if you want a great community where you can truly become the king you want to be, just go to highnoon.org. There's many different programs there. The core program where you get to study more about that core of the universe book, great stuff. Really, the core program really helping with marriage preparation, Ascend, overcoming your shadows, all these things. So we can truly become the kings of the future, right? This is really going to be our destiny if we make sure we practice these incredible virtues. So I also just want to thank all of you guys who are on this call today. You're all doing great jobs with trying to create this fantastic community of brothers, right, that can become the kings of the future.
Yeah, and we really need to wrap up, but maybe a short last message from each one. Just what do you want to say to the world, to the brothers out there? Maybe not only brothers, but yeah,
people of the world.
I think if you're a young guy, if you're a man, I think, just work hard, focus on your goals, try and center it on God, try and have integrity, and try all your ambition, all the things you want to do. If you center it on God, then I think you'll be on the right track. And so, hard work centered on God is the formula.
Preach.
Right. From one side, 1 point, clarity. Choose your heroes wisely and surround yourself with a good bros, good environment overall. To the Moon Bros, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, man, maybe a bit of a different also aspect. I really want to encourage people to pray because, just like practice, I have to run a lot. And as I do it, I get better. And with prayer, it's really the same thing. And I think part of becoming a man is also connecting to God. He knows so much, and he can really bless us with knowledge. So if you want to get good at anything, you need to do it a lot. And prayer is something also like that. So I'd really encourage people to pray, even though it feels like you're talking to a wall, pray.
Nice. I would say my message to the world is get uncomfortable. Do things that make you a bit nervous or anxious, and yes, make your heart race a little bit and make your palms go a bit sweaty, because I think that's where true growth comes from. And if you do things that get you outside of your comfort zone, you build that true inner confidence and belief in yourself. So that's what I would say. Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sure. And if you're
That's
not gonna be a
exactly what
pro
you're doing.
footballer, you'll be a pro public speaker. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
It's something I've been definitely trying to work on. So, I mean, that's the reason why I did this podcast, because I had
Yes,
a bit of
sir.
mental friction of doing it and speaking in front of people. So, yeah, that's something I want to
It's a
improve
good
on.
one.
King in training, mate. King in training.
Let's go. Let's
All
go,
right.
Kings.
Let's go, Kings.
Let's go,
Thank you
Kings.
for this.
Big virtual dap to each one of you. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining. Really,
Appreciate
this
it,
was
man.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
yeah,
us, fellas. Pleasure.
God bless.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, that was wonderful, right? That was great. The brothers
It's
here.
so encouraging to know that the brothers of our future, they really are taking their growth so seriously. I think many people can take for granted that we genuinely want to grow. So yeah, you're doing a good job, brothers, and keep inspiring your other brothers too.
Hey, did you know that our team wants to do more events? Well, if you want to bring the High Noon message to your community or group, then let us know and we'll try to work something out. There's a simple application that you can fill out right now at highnoon.org/invite. And one of our team members will get back to you to see what's possible. That's highnoon.org/invite. All right, see you in the next episode.